Hey guys, Nathaniel here, and look, I know I'm a little late to the game. I'm sorry, but I figured I'd go back and see this film one more time. So today I'm here to give you my Toy Story 4 review, directed by Josh Cooley, starring Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Annie Potts, Tony Hale, Keanu Reeves, and a bunch of other folks. Now I think most of you know that I am a huge Toy Story fan. I must have watched the first movie on VHS like over 100 times when I was a kid. And this franchise means so much to me. Like, personally, I think if we're just talking about the first three films, I think it's the best trilogy of all time. And I think it's the best series of all time. And clearly, I love Toy Story so much that I even have a cabinet and a dresser just full of Toy Story merchandise. But I was definitely a little hesitant going into this film because the way the third one ended off was just absolutely perfect. I think that's one of the greatest endings in cinematic history. The sense of finality that it gives really made me wonder, why does Pixar want to make another one of these movies? Is it for money? Or do they actually really want to put care into this property one more time and give the audience a great Toy Story movie? Well, when I first saw Toy Story 4, I was disappointed. Now, it wasn't because the movie wasn't great. It was because it wasn't as good as the other three. But really, Toy Story 4 has to be one of the reasons that if filmmakers want to make a fourth film in a franchise, this is how they should do it. When after seeing it again, I really felt like, okay, I definitely don't think this movie is a disappointment at all. I really don't. It's just still, I don't think it's as good as the other three by any means, but it is one fantastic movie. And the thing I love about the Toy Story movies, I mean, first off, like, they're animated films, kids will love them or whatever, but they're never catered towards kids. They're always catered towards adults. And I really feel that adults will appreciate the Toy Story films more than kids do because of the themes, because of the characters. And the fourth one solidifies this reputation. I have to say that, growing up with Woody, I've always had a special place for him. I had a bunch of Woody dolls growing up, and, I just bought a new one recently from my cabinet. But man, if he isn't one of the best characters in cinematic history, I think this film really, really proves that to me and really doubles down on why Woody is such a good character and why all these movies matter. Because really, every film is about Woody. He is the heart and soul of the Toy Story franchise. And so, to see him have a character arc in every single movie just shows how much they care about this character. And this movie, without spoiling anything if you haven't seen it, but this completes Woody's arc. This is Woody's movie. It's not a Buzz Lightyear movie. It's a Woody movie, 100%. And I mean, of course, there's a lot of things that elevate this, especially the character of Forky, played by Tony Hale. Now, I know a lot of people were worried about this character because, like, what the hell is this? This is just some random spork, and it's like, how is this going to play in with all the characters we know and love? Quite frankly, most of the characters we know and love aren't even in the movie that much. Part of that has to do with people passing away, like Don Rickles, and, just the fact that it's solely focused on Woody and some of the newer characters. But really, Forky is probably the best new character in this entire movie. And really, the thing that's so great about Forky, besides Tony Hale bringing this sort of infant-like innocence to the character, the theme that this film hits on with this character really brings Woody's arc to the front and center of the film. And it really brings up these deep and existential questions about what is life? What purpose do we have? Can we find purpose for ourselves after our purpose is fulfilled? And I really, really think this movie is brilliant in that sense. I think this is the deepest out of all the Toy Story films, albeit the weakest, but I'll get into that in a little bit. Also, Keanu Reeves as Duke Kaboom is fantastic. I mean, Keanu Reeves is on top of the world right now, so, props to you, man. Annie Potts coming back as Bo Peep. This is hands down the best Bo Peep has ever been. And the interactions between her and Woody are very heartfelt and are really key to this entire film and what Woody is going through. Also, Gabby, played by Christina Hendricks, she's great too. She has her own kind of tragic backstory to her, and I think she's probably one of the more compelling characters in this film. I know not many people are like huge on the character, but I think she really works for this film and its themes. Also, Pixar, I don't know how they do it, because you look at the first Toy Story movie, right, and you see that some of the animation, especially on the humans, kind of uncanny valley, but the way they've progressed over the years in terms of animation quality, like the opening sequence that takes place in the rain or whatever, looks so realistic. It's almost like you're there and this rain is actually falling and you are seeing this with your own eyes. It's really, really amazing how far Pixar has come with this type of animation and how they just perfected it so much. And the whole movie looks great. It's definitely an upgrade from 3, which you'd think that there wouldn't be that much of a difference, but it's definitely noticeable and for the better. My problems with this film, because I do have a few, part of it is the Key and Peele characters. I did not care for Ducky and Bunny. I thought their humor was very juvenile. It didn't really mesh well. There was one running gag that was really good with them. But other than that, I didn't really see any point for them to be in the film. And I think if most people are pinning down something they don't like, I know a lot of people have responded positively to these characters. I personally don't get it. If you like them, whatever. But really, I think they're the weakest part of the film. But also the fact that even though I said, yes, it's Woody's story and all that, I mean, to be fair, all the movies have been. And all those movies have had the characters that we've, grown to love over the years. And they're really kind of sidelined in this one. And as I said, there's some unforeseeable circumstances with some of the actors in this film passing away or whatever. But really, it's just, you could feel the lack of their presence throughout this entire film. And that really kind of bummed me out because I love these characters. And I don't know, it is what it is. But part of that leads, and I'm not going to spoil it, but part of that leads in the ending of this film. And wow, the ending is great. And Pixar had me sobbing in the theater. This 20-year-old guy just losing his, oh man. I don't know how they do it, but they they do it some way, somehow. But part of the reason why the lack of characters is sorely felt is because parts of the ending feel rushed, as amazing as it is and as emotional as it is. It doesn't have that sense of finality that Toy Story 3 had, which kind of bummed me out. But still, I think it's like probably one of the better endings you'll see to any film. I really mean that. It's definitely better than the first two in that sense, but nothing can top 3. There were a couple moments where you could tell where the movie was going, because I kind of predicted the whole thing from the beginning of it, and it makes sense. But also, like, there's a couple moments where, and I don't like this very much about a lot of films, except Up. I can give Up the pass for this. But the characters kind of get into this contrived argument, and it's just there so they can split up and come back together again. And I feel like the way they went about that was too quick. But really, to find flaws in a Toy Story movie, yeah, it's the first one that really has evident flaws in my opinion. So, I mean, it's still, like, I don't think there's any film in the Toy Story franchise that is mediocre or even not great. Really, I think that this still is the best film series of all time. I don't think there's any film series that has this type of consistency. And Toy Story 4 shows that no, they weren't going after the money and that they really care about these characters. And look, if all the Toy Story movies are going to be this great, then, if they make Toy Story 5, by all means, I'll go see it. Look, I really love this franchise, and I'm just glad that Toy Story 4 wasn't there to fulfill a quota by Disney and Pixar, and that they really love this world and this franchise. And for that, I'm going to give Toy Story 4 9 out of 10 stars. Is it a contender for my top 10 of the year? I don't know. It's a little early in the year. Right now, I definitely say it's one of my favorite movies of the year. But who knows what will happen? Maybe I'll rewatch it again and like it even more. Maybe I'll like it a little less, though I doubt the latter. Well, if you saw Toy Story 4, comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about it. And also, be sure to smash that like button. Hit subscribe so you won't miss out on any more of my videos. And stay tuned for some movie reviews that are coming real soon. I'm going to go to New York this week, so I'm going to catch a couple of movies down there like The Souvenir and The Last Black Man in San Francisco. Also, Spider-Man Far From Home comes out next week, and Midsommar, so be on the lookout for that. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.